Today I'm joined by one of our highly experienced Google Cloud support engineers, Mark. Mark is going to take us through the ins and outs of email authentication. So without further ado, let's hand over to Mark.
Gmail administrators should set up email authentication to protect their organization's email. Authentication helps prevent messages sent from your organization being marked as spam. It also prevents spammers from impersonating your domain or organization and spoofing and phishing emails. If spammers send forged messages using your organization's name or domain, people who get these messages might report them as spam. This means legitimate messages from your organization might also be marked as spam. Over time, your organization's internet reputation can be negatively affected. Sender Policy Framework, or SPF, is an industry-standard email authentication method. It's an effective way to help protect your domain from spoofing and to help prevent your messages from being marked as spam. So we recommend you always set up SPF for your organization. An SPF record identifies the mail servers and domains that are allowed to send email on behalf of your domain. Receiving servers check your SPF record to verify that incoming messages that appear to be from your organization are sent from servers allowed by you. Domains can have one SPF record. However, the SPF record for a domain can specify multiple servers and third parties that are allowed to send mail for the domain. You can see here the Google SPF record. And now you can see an SPF record with multiple mail providers and an IP address. It's also important to note that if you have more than one SPF record, it can result in your mail being marked as spam or rejected. Records can be added to the DNS at your domain provider and can take up to 48 hours for SPF authentication to start working. Set up DKIM, or DomainKeys Identified Mail, to help protect your domain against spoofing and help protect your outgoing messages from being marked as spam. DKIM is a standard email authentication method that adds a digital signature to outgoing messages. Spoofing is a type of email attack that forges the from address of an email message. A spoofed message appears to be from the impersonated organization or domain. DKIM detects when a message has been modified and when unauthorized changes are made to the message from address. Without DKIM, messages sent from your organization or domain are more likely to be marked as spam by receiving mail servers. How does DKIM work? When an email is sent from your organization, the email server creates an encrypted hash based on the message's content, signs it with the domain's private key, and attaches it to the email's header. The receiving email server can recompute the hash based on the contents of the email message and sign it with the public key obtained from the DNS server. The authentication checks if the receiving server's hash matches the encrypted hash in the email headers. This will confirm the message hasn't been tampered with since it was originally signed, and if they match, the email will pass DKIM. You can generate the DKIM key from the Google Admin Console. To do so, you come over here to the left-hand side to Apps, Google Workspace, and then Gmail. Now you come down here to Authenticate Email. And now if you have multiple domains, you select your domain from the list. And you can see the status is not authenticating email. So I'm going to click Generate New Record. The DKIM bit key length can be 2048 or 1024. We recommend 2048 because it's more secure than 1024. Set the bit key length when you get your DKIM key in the admin console, as you can see here. If you don't know which bit key length your domain provider supports, start with 2048. You can change it to 1024 later if there are issues. So I'm going to select 1024. I'm going to click Generate. So now you can see the key here. So the DNS host name or the text record name is going to be google._domainkey. The text record value, this is your DKIM key here. Log into your domain provider and add the DKIM information, allowing for some propagation time. Click Start Authentication. Status will change to authenticating email. As you can see here, status changed to authenticating email with DKIM. That's how you generate and input your DKIM key. Spammers can spoof your domain or organization to send fake messages that impersonate your organization. DMARC tells receiving mail servers what to do when they get a message that appears to be from your organization but doesn't pass authentication checks or doesn't meet the authentication requirements in your DMARC policy record. Messages that aren't authenticated might be impersonating your organization or might be sent from unauthorized servers. DMARC is always used with the two previously mentioned email authentication methods, SPF and DKIM. If you set up DMARC without having these two records in place, it can cause massive issues with your mail flow and your messages could be marked as spam or rejected as a result. The DMARC record is in the form of a line of plain text. You can see here an example of a DMARC policy record. The text is a list of DMARC tags and values separated by semicolons. Some tags are required and some are optional. A DMARC policy tells receiving servers what action to take on unauthenticated messages they get from your domain. There are 3 actions which can be specified by policy tag values. None. This instructs the system to take no action and deliver the message to the intended recipient. Quarantine. This instructs the system to mark the message spam and direct the message to the recipient's spam folder, where the recipient can review and select to mark it as not spam. Reject. This instructs the recipient system to reject the message, usually sending a bounce message to the sending server. Although it is optional, it's recommended to use reports when you turn on DMARC for your domain. Adding the RUA equals mail to tag to your domain record informs the system which address or addresses to send DMARC reports for your domain. The email address must be prefixed with mail to, and reports can be sent to multiple addresses if separated with a comma, and the mail to prefix is added before each address. This option can result in a high volume of email. We recommend setting up a dedicated reports inbox for this reporting, or a Google group. Another optional tag is the percentage tag. This tag specifies the percent of unauthenticated messages that are subject to the DMARC policy. This tag may be useful if undertaking a gradual deployment of DMARC, whereby you might start with a small percentage of messages subjected to DMARC, and as your messages pass authentication but receiving servers, steadily increase towards 100%. Of course, if you don't use this option in the record, your DMARC policy applies to 100% of messages sent from your domain. It is important to bear in mind also that if your domain uses BIMI, your DMARC policy must have a percentage value of 100, as any less is unsupported by BIMI. Lastly, the DKIM is an SPF tags, which are optional tags but which set the alignment policy for DKIM and SPF, define the level of adherence to the policy. There are 2 levels of adherence. S, which is strict alignment. There must be an exact match to the headers and domain names. Relaxed alignment allows for a partial match of SPF and DKIM. Tags are separated by semicolons. The V and P tags must be listed first. Other tags can be in any order.
We hope this helps you understand the tools you have available to ensure that your email gets to your recipient and is protected from spoofing and phishing attacks. The presence of these safety checks helps to safeguard your organization's internet reputation and ensure that your domain is trusted by your recipients. This is becoming increasingly important for companies as email sender guidelines get stricter and precautions to prevent phishing and spoofing get tighter. If you're interested in learning more about how to roll out a DMARC policy, or you're interested in upskilling your team on the admin panel features, your team might benefit from our Google Admin Panel learning site, the Admin Academy. Alternatively, if you're interested in other recommended security protocol across the Google environment, get in touch today to talk about a security review with our highly experienced team of Google Cloud engineers like Mark. But for now, until next week, see you then.